All right, stop. You all need to listen. There's a new podcast coming out, and it's a brand new edition. There's designers. They're grabbing a hold of us tightly. They look at the drawings daily and nightly. Is there ever a problem? No, we don't know. The designers give us drawings, and we just go. If you got a problem, the designers won't solve it. Check out the contractors while we all resolve it.
The construction life.
That's the best.
From the T-Dot.
T.O., baby!
9:05.
Mike,
Hi.
episode number 4 of the construction life. And to the right of me, I've got Carlito from Creatix.
And to the right of me, I've got Mike from Creatix.
And directly in front of me, I have Laura from Carpet 2. No, I'm joking. It's 1.
Remodel Canada, Carpet One.
Let's do that again.
That was good.
And to the right of me, I have Nicole from Hanstone.
And to the right of me, I have Jennifer from
Hanstone.
Oh my gosh, it's bad when the person you work with from Hanstone says Hanstone. And to the right of me, I have the beautiful Natasha from Studio 286.
And directly in front of me, I have Manny from Hardcore Rentals.
And we are in the Hanstone Showroom. What do you call this room?
I love this room.
What?
This is the Hanstone Gallery.
This is the Hanstone
glass
Gallery.
And we're in the glass,
The glass cube.
I love it.
It's amazing. This is our first time we're doing a podcast on location.
It's
The first time we're doing a
I hope we're
podcast
doing more on
with
this
a bunch of
location.
women.
It's awesome. They're all amazing.
Caldari Road.
150.
Vaughn.
Here we go. Somebody's doing a plug.
In the 905.
Open Saturdays.
So today we're going to actually talk about a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about designers, contractors, fabricators, stone. We're going to be talking about construction. We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff about the construction life.
Everything.
Everything. And we got 4 lovely ladies across from us, and hopefully things don't get heated.
They
Who
might.
can guarantee that?
Right.
No
Hopefully they don't. Hopefully
no
they
guarantees. No guarantees.
No guarantees.
No.
I don't like a designer who comes on a job site and pulls out a bunch of sheets that are from a magazine, or pulls out an iPad that has a bunch of pins from Pinterest or bookmarks from House. That I don't get along with. Construction is a creative process. It's a collaborative process. So if you come along and you bring pieces of someone else's work and you show it to me and you're like, I want to do what they did already, I don't get along.
I designed my house based off of Pinterest.
Did you really?
There's
I
a
did.
lot of good stuff on there.
I did. Do you want to see my Pinterest
But,
boards?
okay, this is an audio show, by the way. I'm sorry. We go through this with
She lifts
everybody.
the phone and shows a picture.
Nicole picks up phone and shows picture to guys.
But most homeowners, they can't relate or talk about technical things. They have to see pictures. Homeowners have to see pictures to show the designers, to show contractors what their vision is and what they want.
But I can't be the only idiot that actually has a Sharpie in his tool belt, pulls out a Sharpie and starts drawing right on the plywood, right? I think, Natasha, you do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. We get to a point where, you know what, we love the pictures too. We love to see where the client is at in regards to their style, what their vision is. But at the same time, yeah, there's things that homeowners come to us with, and it's just not possible.
So, Nicole, when you did, okay, so you went all over Pinterest and pulled out a bunch of images from there. Did you copy them directly?
No. I used that as like a jumping off point, and then
So if you were to pin your entire house now and compare it to the original pins, are they dramatically different, or are they kind of following the same suit?
maybe they echo some of the pictures.
Okay.
But I
Nicole, did you use a designer?
No, I did not.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Because I don't have $500 an hour.
Oh,
to
here we
pay.
go. Here we go.
Wow, I'm going to become a designer.
Did you? I guess all the contractors were cash. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, everything was cash under the table.
Okay. I think that's a wrap there, but
But I think we're going to be leaving
hang on
now.
a second. So no, hang on. Though I just want to reiterate this. It's you have drawings. If you're a designer, you are to provide the drawings. You guys are talking about having the pictures from Pinterest. That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. I'm not okay with it as it coming my way to design a project.
No, God,
I'm
no.
totally okay if the designer shows the pictures to the clients and then says, this is what you were trying to achieve. But don't come at me with a picture from Pinterest and say, build this.
No.
Give me the goddamn drawings and give me the measurements is what I'm trying to say. I'm totally okay. I love the fact that there's houses out there and I love the fact that there's pictures. It's great. It works. It speaks volumes for the customers. Not for me, though, to build something.
How do you go about it? So if a customer comes up to you, they're designing their kitchen and they're turning to you for style advice, design advice, finishes, all that kind of stuff, what do you first tell them to do? How do you recognize what they're looking for?
If they say 2 words to me, I walk away. Shaker and panel.
Okay.
I fucking can't stand shaker and panel. Okay? And then it follows cloud white. Right? So then I get a little upset about it. Most of my clients, when I'm speaking to them, most of the time they're like, can you come up with something?
Okay, that's really good.
Right? Which is dangerous, though, if you
Yeah.
think about it. Because it's like something. Like, how are you supposed
Yeah.
to? I need a little bit more direction.
See, and that's, I think, the difference with designers in terms, designers like to take the lead on that creative side. I think general
Where are they getting their cues from?
contractors-
Are they paying attention? Like, I'm speaking for myself, right?
Sure.
Are they taking their cue from the personalities of the client or the demands of the client?
From what I see here at the Hanstone Showroom, we have a lot of people coming in with pictures. So whether they're gathering that
Oh, so they are doing
concept,
that.
they are coming that way.
Yeah.
And the designers kind of they take that information and then put their creative spin on it to try to elevate what their thought process was.
So what are
from
you
the
guys
homeowner.
seeing? What are you guys seeing a lot? Like, what's
But I feel that general contractors or renovators are more practical, come from a more practical approach, a more realistic approach.
Hang on a
I
second.
love her. I love her so much. You know what? I can go home now. I'm not even joking. She nailed it. You know, the realistic approach.
So who do you guys want?
I mean, we love designers because designers do stay on the forefront of what's in interior design.
Yeah.
They tend to direct customers accordingly based on visual and based on, like in our case, we're made in Canada, that really matters. And, there's things like that again come from a different view. Whereas I don't know from a renovator's perspective or GC, does that come into play for you? Or is it even something that comes up, right?
Well, that's our
So,
job,
and I
right?
don't-
Our job is to
right.
kind of persuade clients because clients don't know shit. They don't know what they want.
Right.
Most clients don't know shit, right? So they want some guidance. They want some direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But I'm sure you guys come across this all the time where most clients come in wanting to do something different. They've been
Absolutely.
through Pinterest and House.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you start showing them something different. They just get nervous and then they go, can we get a little more safe, right? And then by the time you ended it with shaker panel.
Yeah, it's the fear of
Yeah.
commitment.
Is that what it
They want
is?
something safe. They want something safe. They want something, like you said, a white shaker.
Why? Why is that? And why can't we change them?
People worry about resale value.
Yes.
They
Oh,
worry
fuck.
about what
The for sale
everyone
sign.
else-
So
Yes.
we're custom builders and we're custom designers and we are custom designing a for sale sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why the fuck are you guys so quiet, man? Well, I hate for sale signs. I don't care how pretty the for sale signs are.
But I'm on that side. Like when I build a house for somebody, I'm always thinking about them having a divorce, someone dying, all the worst things that can happen. And the most important thing is like you can only personalize your house so much.
No, I'm not saying extreme. I'm not talking about Ty Pennington, move the fucking bus and have like a jungle gym in your kid's room. I'm not saying that stuff. But you could be creative. Why can't
I
you
like
be
the
creative?
jungle gym.
It's true though because
The kid's room. I said the kid's room, okay?
no, but people tried to deter me from choosing. Okay, get this: a navy blue island. My mother-in-law's a realtor,
I love that.
but she said same thing. Like, think resale. Will someone want a navy blue island? It's not freaking orange. It's
If
navy
you're
blue.
gonna but you're probably gonna sell your house. You spend all this time and effort designing this house of yours. You're gonna sell it in a decade or two, possibly, right?
Maybe. Who
That's
knows?
when it'll be renovated again.
No, but I think she's being safe, right?
Yeah,
I kind of
for
like the
me-
daring too. I like
for
red
me,
and
I
blue
like
and-
to pick what I like. I have to live in the space. I don't want something boring. If I want a loud patterned concrete tile, I'm gonna put it, right? I'm paying for it. I want to be a little bit creative, but that's just me. But I get it. A lot of people, we help people in the showroom here all the time, and they're scared to choose a gray because they think, oh my God, if it's not white, how am I going to sell my home?
Right.
It's too bold.
They- they actually say that?
Yeah, people like
Yeah.
actually going safe because they like to know that in a couple of years, if they get bored with their counter, they could change certain things, like let's say the handles on
Yeah.
their cabinetry. They can change, they can go from gold hardware to, a stainless steel or a brushed nickel or whatever the case may be.
You
They
guys
can
okay
change
with
the
that?
little things.
I really like the flat gold. It's really it's something I really enjoy now.
That's what I did.
But
love
are
that.
you
Love
guys
I love it.
Gold.
Love that.
in your homes? Are you guys safe?
I try not to be. Right now, I'm having a migraine because I'm trying to convince the clients to go with a black kitchen, black everything.
But in
Hang
your
on a
own
second.
home.
Are you asking personal homes?
Personal.
Oh, personal?
I'm-
Fuck no.
Okay.
I'm a carpenter, so my house is constantly renovated.
Yeah, but you're doing
It's,
interesting trim detail
and never finished.
Yeah, but you're doing interesting anything detail, right?
Yeah.
So you're not doing typical shaker paneling or something like that.
Dude, I'm
You're-
not doing typical anything. I don't
Yeah.
have time to do
So
anything.
there you go.
So
It's
when
your
I
house.
get home, yeah.
But when-
Shoemaker shoes are never
But
clean.
when you're building that, are you thinking about the for sale sign?
no,
Yeah, I am.
I'm not.
Oh man.
But the difference for me is I don't have to spend $30,000 or $40,000 for someone to do
Right.
something. I can
No,
do it
because we can
myself.
do it. I know.
So I could do all the little things that people wish for.
So what are clients asking for in their homes? And we know that it's kitchens and bathrooms, right? So that's what they always, I want the master bath a certain way and I want the kitchen a certain way. So what are the clients asking for these days? Please don't say shaker panel.
Yeah, pretty much. And a lot of white shaker panels. And they just want it clean and sleek. They don't want to go different. They're just trying to be on the safe side. Like for us, we try to add some design to our, with our clients to bring out some inspiration and to be able to execute who they are and be a little bit different. But at the end of the day, really when we bring that, we end up going back to the white shaker. Majority of our kitchens, actually 95% of our kitchens that we did last year were all a white door style. Some were shaker, but others were similar to a shaker style.
Like a double shaker, right? Or
No,
possibly
no,
even
no.
go dangerous like a triple shaker. Do you find that your contractors, when you're installing these shaker kitchens, do they look excited and they're really proud of what they're doing and they're putting it together, or is it just another fucking day at the job?
It's just another day.
That sucks. That just
is,
sucks,
it
in
is.
my
It does suck.
opinion.
Yeah, it's just another day.
Don't you want to be like, you guys get jazzed, right? I don't know why the fuck you're
Jazzed
so
all the time.
quiet, man.
Jazzed all the time.
Now, are most of your customers like cookie cutter houses or custom homes?
Most of them are cookie cutters.
You can make a cookie look good.
No, but I think when you
I love
go to your
cookies.
next door neighbor's house and you're seeing the same kind of cabinets, you want to do what your next door neighbor's kind of doing. And
So who do you think has more influence on the homeowner?
What do you mean,
the
design?
renovator
Designer.
or the designer?
Designer, hands
but
down.
do
Well,
you
hang
feel,
on.
I want to say this from a different perspective because a lot of customers that come through this door will come through from a designer.
Yes.
But then we also find that the fabricator, the actual guy or the woman that's cutting the material, also has a lot of influence to
Huge.
changing
Huge.
that design or changing that, like having a huge influence on the customer when it comes to that, again, that practicality standpoint.
But just like you said, the moment that they've spoken to the designer, they're on one path, but then you start introducing them to the team that's going to put this all together, they start veering off to another path.
You know what?
This is why we butt heads. No, but yeah, no, that. It happens.
What
all
do you
the
mean we
time.
butt heads? You butt
We
heads
butt
with-
heads. Well, she nailed it. Like I said, when I said I can go home now, I meant it. When she mentioned about it being realistic between the designer and the contractor, dude, it's black and white. If you can't. The designer can say, "Oh, this is gonna look beautiful. It's gonna look beautiful." I'm sorry, you guys want to get in there? What's
No, she
I
wants to
just-
get in there.
I
She
wanted-
wants,
I'm listening to what Mike's saying, and I'm also thinking how much influence that we have.
You guys-
Nicole
I
and
was just about to
myself
say
and
that just like a
Cassandra.
fabricator, they're coming in here, you guys have an influence there
There's
too.
so many layers that
Yeah.
these homeowners get advice from. That's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll work with a designer. They'll work with a fabricator or a kitchen company.
So who do
they'll
they
work
listen
with a
to?
GC. Who do they listen to?
Who do they listen?
at the
What's
end
the
of the day.
deciding factor? Does it become personality? Does it become comfort?
You know what? In our case, what we do is Deb and I initially will go, let's say for the site measure, we go meet with the client. And then we have a team meeting. I have my fabricator, I have my installer. Everybody is on my team. We do a meeting to say, this is what the client wants. We go through everything.
Without the client.
Without the client.
Okay.
We design it. And there's times where the guys will be like, okay, love this design, but you know what? We had a thought about this. What about this? And we're like, that's fantastic. We work together as a team. We understand this element. This is important. Everybody has to come together, see the vision, believe in the vision, and then help that client on that journey from their vision to, the completion of this project. It has to be a joint venture.
No, you're right about that team thing. We get 70% of our work from designers. And a lot of times we'll walk in and we have to shut our mouth because, if we get in the way of the designer, we're fighting with them now.
Yeah.
It's their vision.
What do you mean get in the way of the designer?
Well,
Like you
they have
don't
this-
want to suggest something?
Well, someone's hired a designer to come into their house and help them out. Some designers are $500 for the whole consultation. Some are 5,000. Some are 20.
I'm in the wrong business.
That's not what we're getting into. But so we'll get our work from a designer. We'll go in and she'll give us her vision or his vision for the homeowner. And then when they're gone, they'll start asking us questions. And then we start getting in trouble because we start talking and changing things and saying that doesn't work, this doesn't fit, that looks ugly.
But that's the environment that I set on my job site, is that my clients speak to all my trades.
So with us,
That's very different,
our
though.
clients do not speak to our contractors
At
at
all.
all. They speak to our project managers, and that's who they speak to. We do not get our contractors involved with the homeowner. Everything goes smooth sailing. Our contractors literally do what we ask them to do, but not once do our contractors speak to our homeowners.
At all?
At all. Our homeowners are directed to contact
What's
us.
the reason? Like when I say my clients speak to my contractors, they're not speaking to them to try to get extras or to try to get this or that or get their
Right.
opinion. They're just having a conversation about the work that's happening and unfolding
Yeah.
and getting their thoughts about their specific trade.
No.
But you're leading to changes, right? You don't want
So-
the contractor dealing with the homeowner so they don't change things.
That's right. So we kind of, because we do everything, right? Like I was telling yourself. So because we control the client from the first time they step into our showroom and we assist them to create their home remodel, we actually set up our crews and we have our project managers overlooking this. So not once do our customers not call us or they don't speak to our contractors. They contact Freddie, myself, or our other project managers, and we deal with the situation or we answer any questions that they have. But our contractors go in, they do their job, they get out, that's it.
Is it like that on your job site, Natasha?
No. Sorry. No. It's on. You know what? I guess maybe also the types of projects that we do. It's more on a personal level. We want our contractors involved. We call them a team. This is a whole team, and that's the way we work. That's the dynamic that we have, and it works for us. We like getting input from everybody.
But it also delays a job.
For us,
And that's
but
what
you
we
know
try to
what?
prevent.
But it
I'll
can,
tell
but if
you-
there's extras and stipulations to that
Right.
contract, it's okay.
Ding, ding.
But I
yes,
will
no.
tell you, we do not delay our work.
But you know what? Honestly, our homeowners,
Back up, boys. Back up, boys.
our homeowners, they love the fact that they deal with one person.
Which is great. It's
Right,
very
like
convenient.
for them to be speaking with the developer, for them to be speaking, for the contractor, and then speaking with the designer aspect, and then us going back and forth with different things, it ends up confusing the homeowner, and that's why our success to our business is we deal with the homeowner from A to Z, and we don't get anybody else involved.
So we actually deal with the client from beginning to end. So at no point is somebody else coming in and dealing with the client. However, the client is introduced to all of our team
Your crew,
members,
yeah.
our whole crew. We call them a team. This is our thing. This is how we go as a united front.
Right.
So if there's something that's not clicking for my fabricator or for whoever, I want them to feel comfortable to come to me. Or even if the client has a concern,
See, that's the reason why I let my clients speak to everybody.
As
I
we
don't
do,
want a
yeah.
line drawn in the sand.
correct.
When you renovated yours, Nicole, did you speak to your contractors?
So we didn't have a contractor.
Wow.
They're right in front of you, Nicole.
In-house.
Listen to episode 3.
So no permits, no contractor, all cash. All right. Okay. Good.
No. We had permits. We had engineered stamp drawings. Honestly, my husband.
What
wanted
made you
to-
do that, Nicole?
Uh-oh.
You know what? It was just a cost. Realistically, a cost.
Oh, so you guys did the work yourselves?
We did the work ourselves.
Okay.
But Nicole loves choosing her finishes. She
Yeah,
loves
I mean-
making decisions on her own.
But what about all the heavy lifting? Like all the, I don't know. Well, I don't know the extreme. Did you move walls? You load bearing?
Yeah. There were
Oh, wow. And you guys did it yourself?
yeah.
With an engineer?
With an engineer, a designer. So a designer did our drawings, our layout, because we knocked down some walls, reconfigured HVAC, electrical, plumbing. Like it was a big job. We basically gutted a home. So of course we got permits. The rest, my husband and myself just kind of tackled it together and subfloor. I've learned a lot about construction.
She's going to sit on your side of the table.
And you know what? I have an appreciation for it because it's a lot of work. And even managing the trades, like now I know why people hire a GC and a designer because it's a lot. And, people don't show up when they say they're going to show up.
Oh, that never happens. Mike?
Buddy, next show
How's
is
your week coming along?
Next show, designers turning into
Contractors.
Holy
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And, at the end, when you're like the home stretch and it's the counters and the backsplash and the installation of plumbing fixtures, that's when it gets freaking delayed. That's when it's like, that's when I started to lose my
Say
mind.
it again. It gets delayed, right?
It gets delayed.
I can honestly say that every single reno of mine has been delayed.
Mine's always been on time, 2 weeks before deadlines.
You're full of
all-
shit.
yeah, no
You're full of
shit.
shit. You're full of shit.
But I kind of liked where we were going before. Me as a Mike and myself as contractors, when we go into a house, I like to get involved with everybody. I like to understand the customer. I really want to get to know them. And a lot of the things the designer's not around for, I have to deal with. And if I do it wrong, I'm wasting money and time.
But most
and I really want to
designers-
stay on schedule.
Most designers want you to figure it out, don't they? They figure that it's already been laid out. It's almost ABC.
I do. I really like when the designer's on board. It takes a little bit of the load off. Like they're in there too. Laura, you weren't saying anything in the beginning, but man, did you put the gloves on. So I'm just going to say that I'm going to side with this side of the table, the 286. I do like the team thing.
From the manufacturing side, for us, it's ironic, but the person that actually does have a lot of influence in the sale are either the templators that go out for the counters or the installers. They can make and break the experience. So it's usually the installer that will say, talk about the warranties, talk about, how to maintain and care for the product.
Yes. Because they know your product. Because they've used your product several times.
That's right.
They've fabricated it. They've cut it.
That's
they've
right.
polished it.
It's the guys in
they've
the
glued
fabrication shop that
They've
are
put it all
cutting.
together. So, of course, I'm going to listen to that person.
That's right.
I'm not going to listen to the painter. Doesn't matter if it doesn't match the paint.
But even in our experience, and Nicole can attest to this, even with our fabricators, for example, the person actually driving the decision as to what material they should promote, within a shop is actually the guys cutting in the back.
Yeah.
I think that's the way that everyone should be.
And it
I'm
should
sorry.
be,
I take the time to educate myself. We do so much research. I know if I go, okay, Schluter, tell me about it.
I don't know shit about it.
Right? But it is your job.
Love it.
Because at the end of the day,
You're right. Anything I'm going to work with, I want to get my hands on and try to figure out what it is.
Right.
And all three of us, we can agree on this point tonight, boys. We like trying new products.
Absolutely.
But we're always nervous about trying new products.
Right, and when you work with great companies, they are willing to educate you.
Yeah.
And so, it takes.
They
us
have nothing to
time.
hide. So
Exactly.
it's the companies that want to hide shit that I don't want to work with. That makes no sense, right?
Right.
No, completely agree.
Like what we find is there's so many layers. It's not just about the designer or the contractor. We have to educate, as a manufacturer, we have to educate everybody. It's almost like when you take a vacation, right? So you get on the plane, your flight's delayed, that just set the tone, right? For the rest of your vacation, possibly, right? People remember the first and the last experience. So if if they have a great experience with the designer and then the designer's bringing in a contractor to execute things and they have a horrible experience with the contractor, that homeowner, well, guess what? All of a sudden, they're upset with their designer and it sets the tone, and vice versa. Homeowners are not just about the designer being fantastic or the contractor being fantastic. It's like a multi-layer process and everybody needs to kind of be on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know Laura came from the travel world. She was in the travel industry. I also was in the travel industry. I just want to paint the picture, and I know, Natasha, you were in here. I say this because it takes a certain type of person to be in those, and Nicole came from retail. As a travel agent, it takes a shitload of patience dealing with people spending their money to go on vacations. They're spending thousands of dollars, and you have to have a lot of patience to go through that. And you kind of got to think not for yourself when you're planning a person's trip, but you have to think on behalf of the customer. So even if I can't afford a vacation that is for a 5-star hotel, I should still be able to offer a 5-star hotel to somebody that has a higher budget than me.
Mm-hmm.
And not think of it from the perspective of I can't afford that vacation, so I can't offer it because I think it's going to be too expensive. I think there's good designers that listen and that can see past their own vision of what they'd like for themselves. And then there's other ones that can't. And I feel like good people that come from the worlds that we have come from, they come from like patience.
Yeah.
Okay, and having to listen, like as a
100%.
hairstylist, you're a psychologist, for God's sakes. Like, I mean, you really are. You're a therapist.
Yep.
Okay, so I mean, for her to transition into this industry, I'm not surprised that she's doing well for herself, because if she only takes that same approach with her customers as she was as a hairstylist, she'll be very successful.
Yeah.
And the same with you, Laura. You give a shit. And Nicole,
Retail's the worst. You just deal with
you're
moron
dealing
after
with
moron. So hang on a sec, Natasha. You ever talking to a client and then start thinking, you know what? Maybe you should do some highlights or something.
All the time.
So that's why you have such good hair.
I'm like, oh my God, she needs bangs. And
You need a nice backsplash and some bangs. Gotta get trimmed.
Really?
do you guys find that by the time the clients actually reach the stage where they need to pick their stone, that now their budget is completely chewed up? That
Yes.
No.
No, I don't.
No, I'm finding that the budgets are getting better for us and we're doing more. They have hidden money and they don't want to spend it at the beginning.
Yeah, well,
it's like the
we know where they hid the money.
They put a number to it and they say to the designer or to the contractor, 80,000.
No, so hang on a second. So verbally they tell you, no, we're tapped out. We have
We're
no more
tapped
money.
out. And
But
then-
meanwhile, there's a mattress over there full of money, right? Because they've
Well,
been
there's a
saving the
tree
money.
somewhere.
Yeah, there's a tree somewhere. Yeah.
But we'll end up in, like from the first week, and all of a sudden we're blowing out walls now. We're doing custom staircases. We're doing coffered ceilings and crown molding. And I'm like, Mike, I thought you said they didn't have any
Where's
money.
the money coming from? Where's the money coming from?
And we could have organized that ahead of time if they were honest and loyal to themselves, just to tell us their real budget
yeah.
and what they really wanted, right?
Homeowners are afraid of doing that.
I think everybody's...
Homeowners are afraid to like tell you like their full budget, because there's always additional costs that are usually incurred after. And if they tell you everything, then they're afraid that you're going to blow that budget, and then there's just nothing else for them to.
It's true.
Well, I think they're also afraid of the contractors, if they could trust them, if they want them in
Oh,
their
for
house.
sure. That's why you'll get the budget, the true budget later on once they trust you more, and then they'll give you more to do.
How
going-
often do you stay on budget?
Never.
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 No.
What's the,
We could stay on budget, but
But we're one piece in
do
the
you
cog,
say-
though.
But
No,
do you
I
have?
know,
do
but
you tell
yeah.
your customers that? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So most people, like a lot of contractors, don't. Like,
No.
they'll
So you
just-
go in line for line, and you got a line, let's say for quartz slabs, and you got a price point there. Sure, but then all of a sudden they come along and they'll pick the most expensive quartz
Yeah.
slab. That's not what was budgeted. So now the budget went up from there. Now it can only be this as a backsplash because we've chosen that. So now the budget went up on that. So that conversation is going on all the time.
Yeah.
It has to.
We always tell.
You can't keep
people-
them in the dark.
Yeah.
Right.
It's good to do that.
And what we were talking about earlier, when we get involved with the customer, we end up becoming like a family member. And once they learn they can trust us and they can leave us in their house and they know we're not taking them for a ride, that's when the money starts coming out. So I guess when we were talking earlier, contractors shouldn't get involved. I really, really believe that the customer gets comfortable with the contractor and things change. The designers don't like us because then more gets put on and we're changing their look, right?
I think there's a lot, that's why I like my guys talking to everybody in the client. Like sometimes they get too much talking because then all of a sudden the day's getting killed, right? But because they want to just pick your brain and just
That's
talk about
because
this.
you have them working all day and night and they have no relationship or
I
friends.
talk too much. My husband doesn't like me when I'm on the site because I just talk to everyone and then they don't do any work because I'm just talking.
But why are you talking, picking their brain?
No,
about-
like I'm generally interested in, you know, how they're laying the tile, and I watch and I ask a lot of questions, and they probably get really irritated with me.
I wouldn't.
And it slows, but I'm just genuinely interested.
You guys wouldn't get irritated if you're laying tile and the homeowner's watching you, sitting down and asking questions. Bullshit.
Well,
I wasn't hovering.
I'm used to having like
Nicole,
15 people around me.
you were totally hovering. You wanted to make sure that the line, the veins were lined up, that everything was perfect.
She's probably a helicopter client, eh? You're a helicopter client? Is that what you are? Copter
That's
client.
good. I like that.
A little bit, yeah. You should say they're installing my counters, and I'm like watching.
You know
them do
why?
the
You know,
seam.
okay, you're
Nicole,
installing
we
tile.
will never work together.
Listen, Mike, next time the client's hovering over you and you're doing tile, just start mixing the bucket with mortar and then pull the blade out before it stops to mix.
No.
And then get it all over them and then they'll leave.
No. I will be laying the tile, or sorry, Carlito will be laying the tile, and I will make sure that I will offer them a trowel. And
Oh, you do that?
Yeah.
I don't
ahead,
go that
man.
far.
Fucking start mixing. You're gonna sit there for 2 hours and watch my guy work, ask him a bunch of questions. You're costing me fucking money. Get the goddamn friggin' mixer and give him a hand. That's it.
For the record, Nicole works at Hanstone from 9 o'clock until 5. Right, Nicole? That was. You're talking about when you were working on the weekend, right? When you were observing things on the weekend and after 5 o'clock, right?
Do you have her time cards? We'll go back on the reno and look at the time cards. I'm not feeling well today. I think I'm going to stay home. They're tiling the mosaic today.
Now it makes sense.
But going back to you, Laura, too, I think it's really important to kind of balance the two. If she's talking to a contractor and one of the contractors is working for someone else and they're giving their input on the construction, it could change the way the customer looks at the project. And what I promise as the company owner and what my guys are doing can really conflict that, right? Mm-hmm. So I understand where you're coming from, like, don't talk to the customer, leave them alone. A lot of times I say, don't take water from them, don't use their washroom, don't take their food, don't talk. But
Oh my gosh, you come to my mom's house, she'll cook you pasta,
Yeah.
she'll make you
And I'll eat it,
beers,
and I'll drink
wine.
it.
Things have changed. I met Mike, and now it's hugging everyone and dancing and music. Like one of the first things he says is, if you guys don't like music, we can't work for you. Because he's got the radio
It's
constantly
funny,
playing.
I'll go to my mom's house and I'll
think
see
it's
these
also-
random people sitting at the table. I'm like,
Who are these strangers?
Oh, Jen, that's the plumber. And, you know, I'm like, okay.
It's a
How are you
family.
enjoying your gnocchi there? They're like, your mom's the best. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they probably
I'm like, Ma, is there any food for me? No, it's reserved for the plumber. As if it's going to get her a better deal. Actually, it does sometimes work, not going to lie.
It's funny.
That's my mother's way of wheeling and dealing.
It worked.
It does work, actually.
So regarding your slabs, right? So let me give you a gambit of messes. Coffee.
Yeah.
How do you clean coffee off of your...
So for coffee, to answer your question, okay, so all
I
you need
spill
to
coffee. How do I get it off?
So you try, first of all, you could try just soap and water or rubbing alcohol in a water solution.
That'll work?
Yeah, that'll work.
If you wipe it up pretty
Then-
quickly, it will come out.
Okay.
Like if it's
Yeah.
like instant.
Coffee, got drunk, next morning,
Yeah,
it's stained.
so, okay, so let's say that doesn't work, okay? You could soak a cloth with 50% bleach concentration, leave it on top for about 10 minutes, And then if the stain persists, just keep reapplying, but don't leave it on longer than 30 minutes and it'll come right off. Or option 3, you can use hydrogen peroxide, maximum 30% concentrate, and then just rinse it with water and wipe the surface.
It'll be fine.
That's actually good for whether you have like any kind of food coloring. So it could be herbs and spices, red wine, mustard, coffee, tea, fruits.
Vino.
Wine's the big one, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot lot of options. So
What about blood?
You can even use
that's
like
easy.
there's even like things you can do to
What's
take
going
out.
on in your house, Mike?
I'm just thinking what if I want to cut up some supersata?
Yeah,
Prosciutto.
so again, that would kind of fall under the same thing, okay? But I mean, there's things like
No, you can't cut on it.
No, I'm saying, yeah,
Oh,
I don't
sorry.
know about
Cutting.
staining it.
No.
Can I cut my prosciutto?
oh yeah.
Can you
So
polish
Use it as
that
a
out?
cutting
You-
board.
you'll
don't
ruin your
cut.
knife. You'll ruin your knife.
We had a party and blue carousel, like, it's like the color of your shirt, that liquor. Someone spilt that all over our kitchen counters. It sat on it all night. Like, I'm not even kidding you. My counters were blue. Blue.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, is this going to come out? And it did.
Wait, this is your kitchen?
Yeah, my kitchen.
The new one?
My last house. But
What happened the night before?
we had a Christmas party and it got really
It gets
a
crazy
rager.
at her house.
But same thing, this house, like denim rubbed off on our white counter. We have Royal Blanc, and it comes out a little bit of bleach. Gets
Even permanent,
everything out.
Hang
even
on.
black permanent marker
Denim?
on our whitest
Denim.
white will
What do you mean
come
denim?
out in 15
denim.
minutes.
Like someone, I guess, sat on the counter with denim, with like very.
What? Nicole, what's going on in your house?
That's after they drank the bottle.
So we're having a party this Friday. No, but I don't cook, so you won't be fed, but I'll give you alcohol.
Great.
No, but denim, it came right out. Like quartz is so great for that reason. You can get we did a test last year where we took a black Sharpie permanent marker and it came out.
Wow.
Hair, shampoos, creams, everything. Yeah, because you got to think about bathrooms.
Yeah. And no sealing. You don't seal quartz.
No, you never have to.
But just for a note, when a designer tells us to put something in, me and Mike don't put it always in.
Right.
If we look at something and it's not going to work,
We don't.
bye.
No, but that's what I mean. That's good. That's good.
Like what? Like
I
what?
would no, but I would as a homeowner, I would value that feedback, right? Because I am not the expert. And I'm never going to pretend to be the expert. But if you recommend something to me as the expert, having done it before, I'm going to listen to you.
So, Mike,
The same with the designers.
Mike, you're a designer. What do you expect from your contractor?
What do I expect from my contractor? I expect my contractor to be trustworthy and honest, and beyond that, professional.
Natasha, you're a contractor. What do you expect from your designer?
Information. Don't keep me in the dark, because you know what, I find that relationship, it's like almost, from our standpoint, we always want to give all the information, the measurements, the style, the color, be a part. It has to be a team. It has to be a team.
Of course.
Carlito, you're a designer. What do you expect from your contractor?
Not to talk back to me.
So basically, you say that you talk back to.
I have fights with designers all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I don't agree with a lot of things they
Well,
do.
okay, so like for example, what did the designer say that made you spark and go?
Well, they sell a product, but they don't talk about the waterproofing behind, like in a kitchen.
Oh, they don't
or
care about this
They don't
stuff.
care about the grout they're selling, or.
But hang on, Natasha, you
Just
care,
the lipstick.
but do you just care about the lipstick?
No, I don't. I care about educating the client. I care about.
Did you notice the lipstick, or did you notice the behind the scenes stuff?
Like what? The grout?
Before the beautiful tile that you
Just
chose
remember
was
the
being
parties at her
installed.
house are all alcohol based.
I'm just kidding. No, I did know behind the scenes. Yeah.
Okay, so you do it. Yeah, you pay attention and you care about that.
I care because that's it can look pretty, but if stuff's going to leak
Fall
and
apart,
tile isn't
yeah,
set properly,
yeah.
then
But I think it's different for you guys because you guys deal with the cosmetics all the time. That you're more interested in the
No, but you
the
guys deal with
structure, right?
cosmetics, but you need to make sure that your cosmetics are being applied
backed.
properly.
Yeah. It's expensive, right? Like you can spend a lot of money on tile or your counters. If it's not done, if it's not installed properly, then
It's gonna
there
fail.
goes your money.
Yeah, why fail?
Right? Like
Right.
I just expect my contractor and my designers to be on the same page. I don't want to be that mediator of
What about that argument?
communication.
She
Like
said.
that's right. I don't care. I don't want to be involved. I'm hiring you guys for a reason,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be that person that has to
Well, what about that?
Two sides.
You'll get clients and designers. You get contractors. You get all three groups of those. What about that? If we argue about this, we'll get to a place that we want to get to.
But don't do it in front of me as a homeowner.
Yeah, it's not professional.
It's you know what? It just makes me feel uncomfortable. Then I feel like, okay, if you guys are not on the same page, it makes me feel very uncomfortable and unsettled as to, who's making the right decision.
Is it fair to say that designers are paid hourly? Most
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, it's
contractors are not paid hourly.
No.
Yeah.
We're paid per job, salary, or task, or whatever. So that's what I have another problem. Listen, I'm not a designer hater. I'm
But
just
do
saying,
homeowners ask you for design,
all the time.
Questions
All the
regarding,
time.
like, trends
all
and
the
this and
time.
that?
All the time. Because I make up so much shit that they'll go, well, why don't you fucking figure it out? But I find that designers will stall meetings because they're getting paid by the hour, while contractors won't stall meetings because they need to install that and get that done and move on to the next stage. So that's that constant battle fact.
Well,
Go jump in right now.
In the past, working with designers, they charge not a lot to the homeowner, but then we have to reimburse it to the designers.
What do you mean?
Anybody
What do you
want
mean?
to talk about the dark side of the fucking business?
I'm not saying everybody's
Oh, we
that
love
way.
the dark
Okay,
side.
explain this.
Wait, are you
We
talking about?
we want to
are
hear
you talking
about the dark side of the
kickbacks?
business.
Kickbacks?
I'm talking about kickbacks across the board. I think that a really good designer should charge what they need to charge to make the customer happy, find their dream, focus on what they want, and they should leave the contractor not to overcharge, and for us to try to explain our cost because someone's throwing $10,000 on top. And
Do
that's
you
the
get
only way
that
we'll
question a lot? Do you get
No,
but
no,
honestly,
no,
do you
not at
get
all.
designers that ask you for a kickback?
We have.
You guys do.
And in the right
Yeah.
place.
Okay,
I
hang on
guess
a
it's
second. Let me
right.
sorry, can I interrupt here for a second? Every one of you guys are nodding your heads.
Yeah.
So let's not beat around the bush here. We all fucking got those designers that came at us for kickbacks. Laura, Carpet 2. You totally did. You were nodding your head.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Okay,
No,
that's
yes,
good.
yes.
Not saying that
Yes.
it's happened recently or whatever, but I mean, we're pushing the envelope to not have that happen. It's exactly what he
Do
said. I
you
don't
guys
think-
ask for kickbacks?
Never.
Never.
I've given work outside of my work for all my sub trades, and I never expect a penny back. Never.
The only kickback we'd get is if they don't want to deal with the customer and we have to deal with them.
That's
then
different.
we
You've jumped
add
in.
in our
Yeah.
management fee, that phone calls, time away from work, sitting in the truck or on the sidewalk so that people don't hear our conversations. That they need to pay for. So, but I do think that when a designer and a contractor know each other well, the designer doesn't have to worry about the little things anymore.
Yeah, but you
sure.
want to meet new people, don't you? So don't you want to meet new designers, new ideas, and get working?
I don't want to meet just new designers. I want to meet somebody that I can grow with and I can enjoy my job. Like, I don't want to just a normal drywall job or a normal flooring job. I want some custom work. That's what inspires me and motivates me to do something better. I need the fuel for my brain.
What makes you consider working with a designer? Like in terms of what's a good designer to
Open
you?
to creativity.
Yeah, that's one. Well, every designer's got a different vision.
Right.
I really believe that drawings are the most important. Organize the job before we come to quote it so that all the bells and whistles are in there. So that when we give them a scheduled date for start and finish, nothing's going to interrupt it. And if it does, there's going to be a penalty for it. Because we have another customer coming up, and we've already scheduled them for a certain date.
Have you ever had the experience of a homeowner bringing on a designer that you had just absolutely didn't want to work with?
Yep.
Many.
Yep.
80%.
Yep.
Really? So how do you deal with that? If the designer's not willing to work with you?
We
or
don't get
just-
along.
so it's just
we walk
constant
away.
Battle? Do you ever let the homeowner know?
Yep.
So you keep full
It's open
disclosure?
conversation.
I
You
think
have
that
to.
depends on if it was our customer. If it was our customer,
Yeah.
I would tell them I don't want to work with that person. If it was their customer, I would just say an outrageous number just to get out of the room.
So you raise the price
Well, I'm not going to take it anyway.
because you don't
so,
want to take it.
Yeah,
we've done
I just
that
want to be
too.
nice and just stop the conversation. We're not getting anywhere, right?
Right.
And I
So
do-
in those cases where the homeowners are when in those cases where the homeowner has hired you, okay, so it's your customer, but they have a designer that they're working with that you just feel you can't have a working relationship with. You've told the homeowner, sorry, I just don't want to work with this person. Do they choose your side or do they choose the
I think it's
designer's
about
side?
common sense and the things that if I have something that's solid and it makes sense, they can't go with the
No,
wrong
it's
thing,
just
right?
interesting, like sometimes, because there's so many differences between contractors and designers. They come from two different worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're in design build, where you kind of like, let's say, you know, if I look at Natasha as an example of Studio 286, they're design build, right? So they come at this from the perspective of the contractor, but also from a design perspective. But if you don't have that, a lot of firms are very like just design. They're creative houses, you know what I mean? They're designers. And then other contractors are very technical, practical. And you guys are very different. Like contractors are just very different than designers most of the time. So I'm seeing it just makes things hard for sometimes a homeowner
the
to
truth
know.
is, if I see a designer's work and I don't like their work, I don't want to work with them because I need to really love what I'm doing. So if they're putting colors that I don't like or finishes that, and they just want to sell
But hang on a
something,
second, it's not your house.
So do I need
I know, but I'm
so
the one
as a
installing it,
homeowner,
and it's very
it's
important.
not your house, though.
so I'm going to go into
Then I
a
need to move
battle
on.
round. Let's
It's-
do a battle
it's not,
round
it's
here.
not your house.
I'm going to go into a battle round. I'm a homeowner. I don't know what to do. I don't know, do I need a designer? Do I not need a designer? Do I need a contract? I need a contractor, but do I need a designer as well? Or does the contractor,
that's a good question.
can the contractors like
I think that's
steer
about your
me
budget.
accordingly?
If you have a lot of money, or I think if you have money, a designer is definitely a good choice. I think that if you have a good contractor, you might not need a designer. But I always think that going with a designer and finding that designer that you like their work, I think that could really help.
Because I've had experiences with contractors where they just don't want to get involved in like going along with you to choose colors, or they'll say, oh, you choose the color and let me know.
Yeah,
you know,
sourcing
like
tile.
that's right. Like some contractors really just don't want to go through that whole long-winded
I do.
situation.
But those are the
right?
monkeys that just want to punch the clock. We don't want to punch the clock. We want to actually contribute.
If I got to stare at it for the next week,
that's the reason
I've got to
why.
enjoy it.
I've got to install it. I've got to put it in. I got to figure out the best way to lay it out and stuff like that. So you've chosen the tile, but there's still more work outside of choosing the tile.
100% of the time, I'm more happy with the work and the finish than the homeowner is. Because I know what I put into it. I know what's hidden behind everything. I don't explain everything to the homeowner. Because if they were to hear everything, it'd overwhelm them like we talked about earlier. There's just certain things I need to know from them, and I leave the rest hidden.
So who's doing the drawings then, if there's no designer?
There aren't any drawings. It's a Sharpie on the plywood.
Okay.
Typically, we get...
Or a spray paint can if I've got it around.
So what questions should homeowners ask when searching for a contractor? And I'll ask the same question to you, girl.
That's a good question.
One of the things I always get is, can I see one of your customers' houses? No, you can't. I'm not going to drag people through someone's house. It's their private life.
It's interesting. I actually stopped doing that because of that. I was like, I don't want to disrupt their life.
So what about you, Natasha?
Sorry.
No, sorry, go ahead.
They should just be asking as many questions as they want. You got to get to know the person. So if you're doing a whole house, if you're doing a whole rental, you need to get along with this person. You need to join their personality. You guys have to click, like one step away from Tinder click. You know what I mean? That's how you guys have to be good with, right? It has to be, because we're going to be stuck at the hip for the next year. So if I fucking hate you from day one, we're not going to get along. So we need to ask as many questions. What do you like? Do you like shaker? No, neither do I. Then we'll get along. What do you like? Do you like white or whatever? So we start picking each other's brains, and then that's why I think you get along. And then if you get the contractor who's into that and wants to contribute and wants to be a part of the whole creative process, then great. Then they know that they can work with you. But if you get a contractor that just wants to punch the clock, then they'll know that too.
Do you ever say to a homeowner, okay, I think we should bring a designer on board?
I've never said that.
Have you said that, Carlito?
Yeah, we
Mike?
have.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool designers out there. I learn something from someone every day that at least cares about what they're doing. If they're passionate, I'm involved.
I've had people bring people on board, and we just didn't get along because they brought all these ideas from Pinterest House and magazines.
Yeah, you're anti that.
Yeah, so I'm anti being not creative.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
I've collected a lot of pictures. I'm building a house right now too. And I've got so many pictures because I'm trying to figure out what I want to put in. Because I'm a visual guy. You could tell me what you want, but if I don't see it,
Like, why you guys? I mean, you guys asked me that question, like, why your brand of quartz?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm kind of saying, like, what's your thing?
Well, I'm sure I speak on behalf of both of us. For us, it's credibility. We're honest. We're as professional as they come. We're not going to friggin' screw anybody. It's all honesty. And we've built that. Like, that relationship, that reputation is known in our company. They know that when they get Creatix Contracting, they're getting the Hanstone of contractors.
Oh my God!
Did he
I
say
can't believe he said Hanstone.
That's the buzzword.
Handstone.
But here's a contradiction from me. I've said there's a lot of bad work on Instagram, and the pictures look great, but a lot of our work, we get 4 jobs a week just from Instagram. Not that we take them all, because it's not the right customers. But a lot of the customers will see, a little bit of our goofiness, and Mike hugs someone 100
that
times a day.
relatability.
It's the personnel.
Like, some designers are stuck in their ways and they don't care. Like,
Never seen that.
If I hire, it's fact, right? Like, a lot of people, they have to adhere to their design aesthetic, and if you don't like that aesthetic, you're not going to choose that
It's
designer.
not their house.
But I respect, I see that. I respect.
No, but it's
the
like a
designer.
trademark. They have something they
It's
do in every
trademarked.
single house,
It's
right?
so well.
That's the hardest question for me for clients. They always ask me, what would you do or how would you handle this if this was your house? And the truth is, it's not my house. I am not going to be in this house doing the things that you guys shared with me.
No.
So it's not
We
my
get that
house.
question here all the
It's
time. What
true.
color do you like? What's
It's
the
not-
top
it's
selling
not my
color?
It's not your house, right?
But at the end of the day, people are very scared to make a decision for themselves.
Oh, God,
So
that's
they
why you have a
need-
bat in the van.
It's hard to save $10,000 or $20,000. Most people, it takes them a
It's
lifetime.
true, and
Some people could do it in a month.
A kitchen is gonna run, like, even a conservative budget kitchen will be like 25,000,
What?
right?
35, 40.
But like, okay, fine.
That would be a softcore rental.
A soft. Nicole's working with that $50 a square foot budget.
She's
from
doing it
earlier on
herself.
today.
Okay, you know what? There's people who use the IKEA cabinets. And
Oh my
make it all
God.
work. They do. I hear them. Like, they try to value engineer whatever, but at the end of the day, it's a big expense. It's not something you're not going to spend $75,000 and then rip it out in a year.
Well, I think at the end of the day, it's our job to help these people create this vision that they want on both sides. And I think we also have to find out what products are best for these clients, because there's times that clients walk in and they're like, I want a white painted MDF shaker. And you're looking and you're like,
But where did they get that from?
They get it from
Their
Pinterest
collection of
and-
friends.
That's right.
Their collection of blogs, their collection of TV shows, their collection of all that crap. They didn't get it from our collection.
No.
You're speaking to the contractor and designer for the first time now, and they're telling you this is what they want, and you're telling them it's not really what you want. For what you guys want to build and how you guys want to do it and how your family is and the kids you have and the pets you have and all this other shit, it's not what you guys want.
They want marble, and they have like 10 kids. That's
Yes.
a terrible idea.
It's so funny
Terrible.
because
terrible idea.
Horrible.
It'll
Yeah.
get ruined
it's
in a week.
It's a great idea if you've got an live-in nanny
Or your kids are grown up.
or it's a
the
or if
first
it's a
question
show
I ask
kitchen.
customers that come through the showroom when they're choosing their countertop is, do you cook in your kitchen?
That's the thing is, I'm so pissed off when you design kitchens and these two fucking people don't cook.
I know.
It's like, why do you want this amazing kitchen and you don't fucking cook?
Or opposite end of the spectrum, that's all the time. They spend 90% of their time at home in the kitchen.
Yes.
Cooking. They have kids running around.
Yes.
Doing homework on their
It's
island.
the heart of the home.
And then they want a white.
Good luck on that.
And they want marble.
Good luck on that.
And I don't get it.
You have to explain it to them.
I
You
know.
have to
We have,
you have
and
to
that's the
educate
thing.
it.
We do. We
Yeah.
do that here. And
But then if you get a designer who's stuck on that,
that's what I'm
Yes.
saying, right?
Design
Sometimes
sense.
they're missing the practicality.
It goes back
sometimes.
to,
and
it's
some
not
designers
your
are
home.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Some contractors are fantastic. But again, it comes down to that education, the questions. What kind of questions are you asking? We always ask. We do our best to ask the right questions.
You need to find
But-
out who these people are.
I believe people aren't honest.
Oh, they'll totally give you their
they'll
image.
they'll tell you who they want to be or what they want to be, but not who they really are. So when it comes to no, but what I'm
No,
saying,
I was just thinking they're telling you about their
so
future
like
divorce.
you guys were talking about quartz and marble. When I come to a person's house, I get to see who they really are.
It's
I
so
get to
true,
see their
yeah,
bedrooms. I get to see
exactly.
their washrooms. I get to see their garage. I get to see everything they're trying to hide from me. And when I look around and I see someone that can't do the proper maintenance, I sell them on easy,
That's
simple
good.
things.
It's important.
And if
Very
they're
important.
really into detail and they're OCD, marble is a good
Exactly.
choice.
It's
You're
funny.
going to seal it every 3 years.
That's
You're going
right.
to take care of it. You're going to polish it. I'll speak for me and Mike because we're not partners, but we are best friends. Me and Mike, when we
There's
go,
been this
when we
line drawn because I've said some things. Yeah.
don't worry, we love them still. When we go to frame a house, most of the people say, okay, can you come and price our framing a house? And most guys will come in and say, yeah, it's $20,000. When me and Mike come, we look at their area, make sure they don't have termite problems in that local area, humidity levels, water tables, before we even go to frame a house. And I think nobody's doing this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the love is gone.
People
Education.
aren't asking the right questions.
No.
People aren't, like, on both sides. Homeowners aren't asking the right questions. You know,
should be
designers,
asking dozens of
contractors, the
questions.
trades, even manufacturers are not asking the right questions. They're not getting to know their customer.
Yeah.
You know, and vice versa, right? Some people don't care, others care.
I love designers. I really do. I just
Yeah.
hate the ones that just want to.
Well, hang on a sec. You're saying you love designers, but you just hate the ones that what?
No, I hate the ones that pick the bad contractors. That's where my problem is.
What does that mean exactly?
There's designers that care about it, the house, the way it looks, the way it's put together, and then there's other designers that just want it done and they just want to move on to the next job and they're done with it because they've created it and
So they
just
don't care
move
how it
on.
was built.
Yeah, they just want to see their vision, how it looks lipstick wise, and they move on. So
That's not right.
the
Is that
designers
right?
we work with,
No.
That's not right.
They know that we overkill things. We're above minimum code.
But they don't care about that.
No, but they do. The ones that we're dealing with.
Oh, you guys
do.
are dealing
It's
with
funny because the same could be said in our industry. There's over 500 fabricators in Ontario.
Wow.
There's really that many?
Yeah. So I mean,
And I trust one.
we always get those questions like, which are the good ones, which are the bad ones, and how do we know if they're good? How do we know? There's no regulating body, so to speak. Like, anybody could potentially open up a fabrication shop, which is kind of scary.
Jen and I could.
Obviously, you know, we could.
We could.
And that's it. We can open
You'll
up.
do a lot of alcohol testing, I tell you that much.
I can see those cuts now. All blue counters.
Yeah.
That's the trend.
I always encourage homeowners to take a look at the past work that they've done.
Of course.
You know, and I always try to tell them, look at the things that matter to you. You know, scenes and profiles and all of that, turnaround time, and costs should not be your number one.
It's not the first
thing.
question.
It should not
No,
be.
it should never be the first question. The first question is how they handle the top 3 stones that you're considering using.
Exactly.
How do you fabricate? Have you ever come up with a really challenging waterfall? Have you ever come up with a challenging edging or something like that? Or what, a sink, anything like that?
Yeah,
And then ask
exactly.
those questions and see that work and then go, okay, how much is that going to cost now?
Yeah.
And go visit their shops.
Oh,
Totally.
definitely.
You know,
Go
that
visit.
that speaks a lot as
Well,
well.
the same thing with a contractor. The way the contractor's truck or van or their vehicle is set up or maintained is a reflection of their business. So the same thing with a shop.
Of course,
If you walk into a
shop-
shop and it's like crappy and dirty and dusty.
So Laura, what made you choose your fabricator?
He was ridiculously handsome.
And the same question for you, Natasha. So I don't know who wants to go first, but I'm just curious, you know, from the manufacturer perspective, what made you choose your fabricator from 500 that you could have chosen, and what makes you stick with them?
Well, we have it's a few years relationship that we have with our fabricator.
Who's your fabricator?
Emporium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we work with Emporium. We can ask them any questions. We can send our clients there. We know that they're comfortable with all of that.
They're like an extension. They're an extension of who you are.
100%. We still call them part of our team. The water jet, we are in love with the water jet and the capabilities of the water jet. And you know, again, it's aligning yourself with people who, like, we love the fact that Hanstone, again, is Canadian. We love the fact that we can call them up. Yeah, we can call them up and say, listen, this is a situation. We know that they purchase multiple slabs. We can get a better price on something where maybe if someone wants a vanity, we know what the stock is. We have no problem going into the back and they're like, guys, you guys know where it is, go take a look. And I can see, oh, okay, you know what, here's a half slab. I can use this for a powder room vanity. I can use this for, you know, whatever it is,
Two
right?
slabs.
Yeah. So that relationship, it's important, right?
So you like a fabricator that engages you and kind of is an extension of your sales process.
100%.
Okay.
Every process of construction should be that way.
That way. I agree.
Every single process.
How about you, Laura? Like, what makes you choose your fabricator?
I think it's the same as how she mentioned. Like, it's the relationship. It's that team, that relationship you build with them, so that you are comfortable to walk into their space and, you know, ask any questions. And when there are jobs, they're right there. You know, like for our fabricator, they put us as a priority.
Yeah,
we give them so much business that literally, you know, if we don't have any countertops for like a week, they're like calling us, is everything okay, right? So it's that relationship, because every aspect or every person you're dealing with to build your business, you need to have that trust, that honesty, that friend.
And
They're
quick
really friends
answers,
to you.
and somebody that responds to you in a timely manner, because I'm
Exactly.
sure you're getting hounded by your customers wanting to know when installation is going to take place. So, I mean, I know that as a manufacturer, like for us, it's the common thing that we hear from our fabricators is that they need answers quick. Because then they have to deal with customers like yourselves, designers like yourselves, and they want quick answers.
Do you guys think your fabricators are expensive? Are they low, mid, high? Because mine's high and it doesn't bother me.
Right, because you have that relationship.
Yes.
And it's worth spending more money to get good quality.
I am the smallest fish in their arsenal of builders.
Yeah.
But they treat me so well because we have this relationship where it's more of a family. And that's what I look for in everybody in construction.
That would matter for me.
Yeah.
You know what I
That
mean?
speaks
Like,
volumes
if I'm
to
a
me.
designer, I need that. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, I think everyone should aim to have that relationship that you have with your fabricator, because that's so much more important than just looking at things
Price
from a
point.
price. No, it's just interesting to hear, because it's funny because homeowners make it about price. A lot of people that come in here, it's all about price. Who's the cheapest? Who's the cheapest? Who's the cheapest? And I can imagine, like, you might get that question sometimes, like the people doing a price. But I guess if they're dealing with you guys anyways, they're probably not just there for price. They're there for quality, because they obviously hold you guys to a high regard, because that's how you do business. But like I said, it comes down to some designers I know, like reputable designers and design build companies, or, you know, good people that we work with and promote. They care. It's not just about price.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day too, it's again having that relationship with your team, treating everyone as a team. When we get quoted a price, if one of our contractors, one of our if our fabricator, whoever it is, gives me a price, I don't question it. I
never have. I'm the same way. I never have.
Ever. I don't.
Have you guys?
No, it's funny you say that, because Mike said that the other day. He said, this guy gave us a price and it's a little high, but I'm not even going to question him about it, because that's what it's worth.
Right.
So you know what? If we keep them happy and we give them what they're worth, what they want, it's going to be done perfect.
So I think, have we touched upon everything? I
think so.
We got to wrap it up. There's a lot that we talked about, but
I like design. Yeah, man.
I love
You know
designers that I
what?
can
We
work
like
with.
good people. We love good people.
I like
That's it.
anybody who wants
know
to
what?
contribute to the job.
That's right.
That's it.
Let's change the way we're doing business.
That's it.
Okay, like the perception of this industry.
It's
needs
not
to
your
change.
home. It's their home. They
it.
hired you to build
People
their
have
home.
choices.
Yeah.
And let's educate why they should use certain.
There's
people.
reasons why you
That's
select
it.
or suggest.
Exactly.
Yes.
Spend your money wisely.
Yeah.
No, just spend your money. That's all.
Pay less attention to advertising and commercials and this and that, and more time getting to know who the people are that you're working
Yes.
with and what
Do
they
your
stand
research.
for.
That's important. As much as you do all that R&D on the materials you're using and the install
Yeah.
practices, you should be doing the same thing with your your clients.
No song.
Look, they're all looking for a song.
Waiting for it. I missed it.
My goodness.
It's not me.
He
He's got to do.
actually
Are you going to do the
wrote
beats?
this for you guys.
Are you going to
Do
do the
it.
beats?
You do it.
You got to do the
You
beats.
do it.
Hang on
Oh,
a
we're doing
second.
Vanilla Ice?
I forgot how it goes. I got to
We're doing
listen
Vanilla
to it
Ice?
again.
Seriously?
This is what he did for them.
I didn't do this for. What are you talking about, Willis?